There we go. Always gotta unmute myself, make sure I'm doing that. Hey, everybody. Happy Resurrection Monday. Happy Resurrection Monday. Let me quickly go on over here and let's do a quick share. Where am I? I don't even know. Should be over here. But I hope you are making your way in the room. If you are watching the replay, what are they doing? Okay, what is happening? If you are watching the replay, I need you to let me know. Hashtag replay gang. Let me know that you're here, that you're in the building. Let me know. If you're watching live, that's absolutely positively fine as well. Just let me know that you're here. That will be amazing. This share. Yeah, share this out. Okay, that should be good. All right. All right, I'm about to get started. Hello, TikTok. TikTok's in the building. Hey, TikTok. We'll see it. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. I think we're good to go on all the fronts. Join me. Okay. Y'all type of girls be rude. Who be rude? TikTok be always writing stuff that's crazy. These comments and social media. I ain't even gonna say TikTok. Social media. People just be saying stuff. It don't even make any sense. Hey everybody. Oh, it's people on here. All right. Wait a minute. Hi there. Hey. Let me show you. Hi. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for my commenters. I appreciate it very much. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be talking about some teams. Um, we're going to be talking about off of the hills of Resurrection Sunday, off of the Holy Week last week, off of this great weekend. Over the weekend, I some notes here real quick. I was able to thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. I was able to go ahead and speak on Good Friday service, and I was thankful for that. I talked about it is finished, and so off the heels of that, I wanted to talk a little bit more about it is finished, since it is Easter Monday or Resurrection Monday. I know some people have taken off or are able to, have gotten time on this Monday. But again, please join me today or let me know that you're watching the replay. But I really wanted to talk more about this. I was challenged this morning, even getting up today, and I'm gonna talk about that as well. I feel like my lighting on TikTok on my phone be looking. I be looking like a ghost or something. I don't know what be happening. There we go. I don't know if it's just not clear or what, but we're gonna rock it out. Anyhow, what are we talking about today? We're talking about becoming the change you want to see. Becoming the change that you want to see. All right. Oftentimes I was pricked with this because, again, like I said, I'm gonna talk about this, my personal thought process behind that this morning. But oftentimes, when menteeing people, when talking to friends, we're talking to anybody, The challenge in our process of becoming is really embodying what you want to be, what you want to be. Oftentimes, we hold people as these high standards that we don't hold ourselves to, right? And so it's so important that we make sure that we are becoming the very thing that we're, number one, holding people accountable to be in our lives, as well as who we envision ourselves to be. And so I was definitely challenged this week and even today on leaning more into that. One of the things, and what made me want to kind of link what I talked about on Good Friday service, was talking about it is finished. And this idea of, for those who are Christian, those who are believers, understanding that God did a finished work on the cross for our sins, for redemption, all those things. But what is our cross that we are to bear? What is that supposed to look like? What does our suffering entail? And much of that, our cross, is dying to self, dying to our will, making sure that we are transforming into the image of Christ, into the image that we're supposed to be. And so make sure that we're being and doing the things that God has called us to be and do. And what does that look like? And so that's really what I wanted to talk about. The core idea is God is producing a finished work in us. So I wanted to lean into that. And how do we walk this out? How do we walk this out? How do we, I'm going back into one of my pillars or foundations of, honestly, me with Coach G, which is identity, which is becoming, which is something that we never stop doing. We don't stop. We don't stop until we breathe our last breath. We do not stop, right? And so it is important for us to always remember this is a continued process of becoming. We don't stop, okay? All right, let's get into it. So, most people pray for change in their life, right? But they resist becoming the person that can carry that change. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he completed the work of redemption. But the finished work of Christ begins a transformation or transforming work in us. Okay. So, those of you who are in the chat, I want to ask you a quick question. Do you feel like you're in a season where God is stretching you? If you feel like you're in a season where God is stretching you, please type stretching if that is you. And even those who are watching on a replay, I want you to type it in there. Okay. Put it in there. As you're doing this, I'm going to move on. The finished work of Christ starts a work in us. Let's explain. Let's go through this real quick. Reference here is, again, John 19:30. Jesus declared the finished work, but redemption opens the door for transformation. Philippians 1:6 says, "He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion." Okay? God is not just saving us, he is forming us. And then my question for you guys is, have you ever realized that God was working on you while you were praying for him to change your situation? Okay. Oftentimes we'll be praying, God, we need a way, we needed this, we needed that. And he is doing the work on us and us as opposed to actually changing the situation. It typically precedes him changing the situation. Okay. Let me know if that's a yes, if that's a I'm realizing that now, or I'm still learning. Let me know. Becoming the change you want to see. Let's talk about this. We often pray, God, change my situation. God, change my opportunities. God, change my environment. But barely or rarely do we ask, what do I need to become? The next season requires the next version of you. The next season or the thing you've been waiting on, the thing you've been hoping for, the thing you've been holding on to, if you feel like life is just not great, not fun, not a good time, if you're holding out on healing, if you're holding out whatever you are looking forward to, if it's in your job, whatever it is, if it's marriage, if it's relationship, if it's friendship, the next season, the thing you're asking for requires the next version of you. So my question is, what area of life is stretching you right now? What area? Is it leadership? Is it faith? Is it discipline? Ooh, I'm gonna talk about discipline. Or is it emotional growth? Okay. Now, speaking of discipline, let me talk about my personal testimony. I was super duper challenged. I was super duper challenged this morning, just waking up on today, on a Mature Me Monday day. It was a long weekend. I would have loved to, slept in a little bit, a little longer, I work from home, so I get to make my own time, entrepreneur, self-employed. So I get to, make my own schedule for the most part. And so I was like, maybe now I have set one of the things I want to focus on for me this year is health wise, right? Just getting more fit. I don't know what it is with each kind of decade, half a decade, you turn, whether you gain weight, you lose weight, something about these joints, these muscles, something about these areas in our bodies. They just start talking, they start making sounds, whether they're talking and audibly and you can hear it in your ear gate because it's making noises, or they're talking by way of the pain that you feel when you do mundane things. I don't know what it is, but I am discovering with each half decade, each decade, no matter if up in weight or down in weight, this body be doing things. Okay. And so I'm like, I really need, and I've lost weight. And so I'm like, I really want to commit to, because they say you lose muscle mass, you lose mass, bone density as you age. Right. And so I was like, I really want to commit to, even though I've lost weight, lost, you know, libums, libs, LBS pounds. Even though I've lost pounds, I really want to do better with strength and conditioning, right? And so I'm not into yoga. No, not me. And so I was like, oh, I should do Pilates. And when I was younger, I used to dance and stuff. And even when I stopped dancing, I used to carry the stretching routines into my young adulthood. And so I would stretch all the time and all that other stuff. And I didn't realize how that was just helping to keep me strengthened, help, of course, flexible, but also strengthened and toned. And so life happens, married, kids, all that other stuff. And so I really came off of that. All that to say, I was like, I really need to get back into the habit. I think Pilates would be really good, because it's low impact, but we need to strengthen these ligaments, these joints. We need to do what we need to do. Okay. And so I was like, last week, I was going around where I live is always a workout something around here. There's always a class. I mean, they're popping up new CrossFits and Pilates and this, that, and the third all over the place. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see about maybe getting like a subscription for classes or something like that. And then I was like, hold on. How many of y'all know that sometimes what you need, you already have at your disposal? I'm like, I've been paying for a YMCA membership. That's a family membership. That's for all of us, family of 5, that only my husband and my son uses. And my husband uses it the most out of all of us. And I'm like, let me go and see what classes that they have at the Y, if they have Pilates. And lo and behold, they have Pilates. And so their Pilates class is at 8, this local Y. is at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. I'm like, okay, that's a decent amount of time. And I had to challenge myself this morning. I was like, my husband was snoring, so it was breaking up I was getting good rest, but it broke up my sleep. And then, once the kids start getting ready for school, they just be loud. No matter how many times I'm like, they just be loud. Okay. And all that to say, I was like, maybe I won't go. Maybe, all right, we'll just start afresh the next day. And I said, nope, nope. I have to be, I have to be what I'm hoping for. I have to be the Danielle, the Danielle. My full name is Danielle. I have to discipline myself to get started. And this is only day one. And so if I can start, which is day one, like, nope, get up. Okay. As much as you might want to take a little extra couple minutes, which don't be a couple minutes, it turns into longer than a couple minutes. Nope. Get your behind. You're awake. Because I don't know about anybody else. There are times where I'll be awake, but as far as actually getting up, getting the day started, getting going, I'm a bit slower to do that than I would prefer, than it should be, right? And so for me, I said, no. What would the new Danielle do? What would the Danielle that's trying to welcome, all of the things that's on her goals, that's on her list, that heck, that even God said, right? What would she do? Would she just squander the minutes, not command the day, right? Would she just not command the day, or would she tell the day, no, this is what I'm doing because I committed to it. I committed to this before this new day came. So this is what I'm going to do. And so I had to be like, nope, just let's go. Let's put this in action. And so that's what I did. And so that's my, and like this previously said, what area of life is stretching you right now? I am being intentional on stretching this discipline. I need to, and I always say that for whatever your assignment is, whatever God is calling you to be, whatever leadership capacity, whether that's in business, whether that's in work, whether it's in ministry, whatever your life demands, there is a regiment for it, right? You can't be out here saying, you're going to be a world traveler, whether it's for business, like I'm going to have businesses everywhere, I'm going to have currency everywhere. And health wise, you don't have the stamina to do it. Whether it's in ministry, I'm going to go to the nation, and you don't have the stamina to do it. And health wise, that's a big part of it. And it's not just about a healthy weight. It is about what structure. I need to have stamina. My lungs need to be better. I need to have strength in my body. I can't extinguish 5 minutes in to whatever I'm doing, right? If I'm trying to, let's say if I'm trying to close 10 deals a month, all right, and that's going to take some leg work to meet with listings and stuff, and I'm gonna be running around and going to different places and in and out of cars and all that other stuff, that I need to have the stamina. My body has to be able to handle the pressure of that. A lot of times we think it's the emotions only, the mental capacity only, but it is also our body, right, as well, that we have to ready for what we want in our next season, or for the blessing that we're asking God for the expansion. I want my business to expand. I want this to expand. I want my family, right? If you want kids, I want my family to expand. And we don't have none of no structure. We don't have anything. Nothing is an indication that what you're asking for can be welcomed into. Does that make sense? Right? So, like I said, I realized that the next season of my life required a different Danielle. And instead of just thinking about it, instead of just talking about it, I said, I have to really walk this out. And I know that one of the things that has been on my heart and my spirit to start adjusting, because my body is like, so, and I know what could fix it. I know I go to the chiropractor. You know what I mean? What could help my chiropractor? Getting some stretching in, strengthening these parts of my body that be a little achy, that be, you know what I mean? Like, I need to do it. It's got to get done. Right. And so I had to ask myself the question, what does the Danielle who can handle the next season look like? What does she look like? What does she look like? It's not about me just seeing the version of myself, but executing the behaviors of that person. I have to execute the behavior of that person. The mindset. The mindset was there, right? But that discipline, which is number 2, ooh, that decision making, I'm going to choose this, that emotional maturity. And now I know for me, it's going to have to apply the consistency. Okay. So let me ask y'all something honestly. Have you ever realized the next level required a different version of you? Have you ever realized that the next level required a different version of you? Too many of us are riding, by the seat of our pants. We're just letting life just take us. You know what I mean? We hopping on the express train, and we're just wherever the one takes us, and it just is what it is, and we're not making a calculated effort to assess, what does my next season require of me? Am I going to be able to have the same regiment, the same disciplines? Can the disciplines I have now apply for the next season? Those are the questions we have to ask ourselves, right? How do we do this? I like to be practical. I like to be practical because being practical is just so important, because so many of us, whether life coaches, whether preachers, whether business coaches, I've been to so many events, business wise, ministry wise, I've been to them. And people don't always have, what can I actually do that is tangible, that's actionable. So I think we have to understand that. We'll say all day long, we need to, you got to, We'll say that all. Thank you, thank you for liking my nails. We'll say all day long what we need to do, what we should do, but we won't actually do it. And it's harder. It's harder when somebody's pointing a finger at you, when a coach is doing it, a business coach, a life coach, a therapist, or whoever your accountability is, whatever your job, whomever is saying, you need to do, you need to do, you need to do. And it's like, that sounds so easy. And so that's why I want to talk about the incremental transformation. Anytime I talk to people, I'm like, you can't do the big thing overnight. It starts by one decision at a time. You can't. Listen, transformation rarely happens suddenly. And I know some people can be extremists, right? And they can be cold turkey. Thank you. I appreciate the subscription, please. Thank you. Some people can go cold turkey and go ahead and make the change and all that other stuff. And those people that go cold turkey may or may not, I'm not going to generalize, but may or may not have the consistency, have the stamina, be able to do it long term. But a lot of times people will do a thing cold turkey. But listen, a righteous man, falls 7 times but gets back up. Okay. You might stumble along the way. And it doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you a failure, right? But trying to transform, it is not a straight line. I was telling a mentee of mine, I was like, transformation, maturity, it's not a straight line. It's a zigzag. And them zigzags might go, this way, and them zigzags might go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, zig, zig. Them zigzags might look crazy, okay? They might they might look crazy. And that's what transformation is. The goal is to do it one decision, one moment, one step at a time, right? It happens through small daily choices. It's in the micro things. Everybody loves thinking macro, but it's in the micro things. Let's look at Luke's reference here is Luke 16:10. Faithful in little. Faith equates to faithful in much, being faithful over the small thing. When we can apply these principles in the small things, then we can incrementally stretch our capacity for the greater, for the much, for the more. Okay. The version of you that can carry the promise is built through moment by moment decisions. Moment by moment decisions. Day by day alignment. Choosing discipline when you want comfort. That was me. That was me. I wanted the comfort of, let me still, because that's what it would be. Let me steal some more time in this bed on this pillow. Let me steal it. I want more comfort. I don't feel like I got enough sleep. I want more. It was a long weekend. I deserve this. I deserve this because there was a lot going on. Choosing discipline when you want comfort. Choosing faith when doubt is loud. Choosing faith when doubt is loud. Now, once I got in that gym, I was like, ooh, we mother out of practice. Oh, mother is out of practice. Ouch. Ouch. And the first one was the Pilates. And then the second one was like strengthening. I was like, I said, I gotta practice how to balance. I don't even know how to balance the board. I don't even know my center of gravity at this point. Y'all want me to do all these, skip there, lunge there, diagonal lunge. I'm gonna fall on my face. Okay. Choosing obedience when results aren't visible. Choosing obedience when results aren't visible. Okay. Let me ask you guys, what small change do you know God has been nudging you to make? Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I want you to type it in the chat. What small change do you know God has been nudging you to make? Okay. I want you to put it in the chat. Let's talk about it. The glorified version of you. God's goal is always maturity. Reference here, Romans 8:29. We are being conformed to the image of Christ, meaning your character is being refined, your mindset is being renewed, and your emotional maturity is expanding. You're becoming someone who can carry greater responsibility and impact. And impact. Shout out to the Instagrammers. Hi, y'all. I forgot to shout y'all out. Okay. You are becoming someone who can carry greater responsibility and impact. God doesn't just change your life, He transforms you into someone who can. Hold on. Thank you. God doesn't just change your life, He transforms you into someone who can. I still messed it up. Now I didn't slow it down. I done took a sip of my beverage and I still messed it up. We're going to try this one more time. Hold on. God doesn't just change your life, He transforms you into someone who can sustain the life He gives you. Listen, whether you're watching live or the replay, if you believe God is developing you for something greater, I want you to type becoming. I want you to type becoming. I want you to type becoming. Type that in there. Type it in. All right. So as we are coming to a close, I'm doing a short one today, guys. As we are coming to a close, I really want us to take in and breathe in this idea of being able to be our authentic self, and really hold ourselves to the candle, hold ourselves accountable to being congruent with what we're saying and with what we're doing. We should be congruent with what we're saying we desire, our wants and desires, what we're believing God for. It has to be congruent with our actions. It has to. I don't know what lifestyle changes you have to make for your next, for your goal, for what the things you desires, but I know that it's going to take a lifestyle change of some kind. I don't know all of what that looks like. And it's going to take a change that involves all parts of us. So whether it's emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? It has to be done. And we might be able to embrace the next season without tweaking all of the areas, but I can guarantee that we will receive a rude awakening that will say, hold on, I can't maintain this way. I cannot maintain where I'm at right now. Now, I'm in a new season. It's been welcome. We have arrived. But I can't maintain this new season the way that I'm going. The way that I'm going. If you're feeling overwhelmed, here are some markers. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like I can't find balance in what I'm doing, if you feel like I can't find balance with my family, with my relationships, my friendships, I can't find balance, work-life balance. And I hate using the word balance because it's not about balance. There are some times where you might have to give to your work a little bit more in that season. It shouldn't last that way forever. But, they say balance suggests that it has equal rank or authority in our lives. So it's about really putting things in its proper place. And again, its proper alignment. And so how do we attack if you're feeling like, I feel like I'm flying at the seat of my pants. I don't even have time to think. I don't even think I have time to consciously breathe. I feel like everything is autopilot. If you're in these stages of feeling close to burnout, it might not be burnout at all. It might have everything to do with how you are aligning your life. It may have everything to do with the discipline. It may have everything to do with a mindset change that needs to happen. Some decisions that need to be made, some things that need to be welcomed, some things that need to be cut off. It may have everything to do with, hey, you can juggle. You do have the capacity to juggle it, but maybe you need to change some things in your emotions. Maybe you need to be more consistent in other areas so that this area doesn't suffer or feel too overwhelming, right? And so I want you to really think about this by way of assessing, what do I need to do if I'm starting to feel this way, if I'm starting to feel like, oh my goodness, it just, mm-mm. If everything in your life is just looking a mess, looking crazy, we got, excuse me, we got to assess. And we don't do enough of that. We don't do enough of that assessing. And I don't know. I don't know if it's, for you to have a journal every day. Everybody's different. I'm not necessarily a journal everyday person. I'll write some things down in between here and there. Maybe once, a couple times a week, up to a couple times a week, just some things that I want to just jot down and kind of keep or whatever. But I think we need to do a better job, whatever your capacity is or whatever works for you. Some people need to write in their journal and in a journal once a day, a few times a day. If that's what you need to do, nothing wrong with it. But we have to challenge these ideals that we have. We have to challenge them and say, God, what are you doing in me? What are you doing in me so that I can be productive in business? What are you doing in me so that I can, welcome the next stage of my ministry? What are you doing in me so I can be a better wife? What are you doing in me so I can be a better mom? Man, I got, kids and I'm learning with each stage. And for each different kid, kids are different. There's no one blanket. With each stage, with them being in different pockets of life, I have to have the capacity to manage these little people, not grown people, and their different stages in life. I have to have room for them. With the ones that are a little bit older, it's a little bit more towards the adult stuff. The ones who are a little younger, it's like silly stuff, and you're like, oh my God. But I have to, what do I need to do as a mom to be able to have the bandwidth to be a guide, to be a parent, to be there for them, to be a support? What do I need to do? And we don't do enough of that, you know. We don't take the time. We need to assess so that we don't break down or our bodies don't break down. Okay. All right. Coming to a close now. Let's talk about this. It is finished. As I started off, I did one of the last words, Jesus on Friday. And so I was correlating, this topic, this theme with that, because I believe it is a part of becoming, understanding the finished work that God has done for us. So when Jesus said it is finished, redemption was secured, but now God is finishing something in you. Then let's ask this question. The real question is not what God is doing in your life. The question is, are you willing to become the version of yourself that can carry it? Are you willing? Everything in God is a partnership. Everything. It's an invitation and it's a partnership. Are you willing? If this encouraged you this afternoon, I want you to type a finished work. Even if we're watching a replay, I want you to type a finished work. And listen, be sure to share, to like, to subscribe, to do all the things. Do all the things. Y'all know how this internet works. Okay. I need you to do all of the things. And I hope to see you guys next time for a Mature Me Monday Live. I also want to know if you stayed this long or maybe you skipped towards the end. What's a good time for these lives? Now,
it's 2 p.m.
Thank you for letting me know it's 2 p.m.
Hope you're having a good day. Want to go for a walk?
Thank you. Thank you, Google. What's a good time for these lives? Is it better for the afternoon? Is it better in the evening time? That's what I want to know. I want to know for those who are watching the replay, why aren't you watching live? Are evenings better for you? Because I don't mind making the adjustment. Okay. I don't mind making the adjustment if, it's beneficial and it makes sense. So let me know. Drop it in the comments. Otherwise, bye, everybody. It's Honestly Me with Coach D, where authenticity meets assignment. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.